As someone who reviews makeup and skincare on YouTube, like I totally get it. Like we want stuff, like we need stuff and we want stuff, and that stuff needs to be packaged in something. But we're starting to realize the environmental impact of all of the stuff we want and the packaging that it comes in. So today we're gonna be talking about sustainable packaging because that's becoming a buzzword in cosmetic marketing. Brands are using sustainable packaging as a way to sell their products to consumers, but is that a real thing? Are we actually helping the environment by buying sustainable packaging? And how legit is that claim? Can we trust it? If that sounds interesting to you, hang tight. We're getting into it right now. It's important to establish right off the jump what all of this means. What is sustainable? What is the definition of that term? It is to lower the environmental impact compared to traditional options. In marketing, you see all these terms starting to pop up like zero waste and eco-friendly and green and all of that. But if we've been around cosmetics for a while, we know a lot of these terms are complete bullshit. That's what it comes down to. Cruelty-free does not have a legal definition. Natural does not have a legal definition. Zero waste does not have a legal definition. Eco-friendly does not have a legal definition. So really, brands can put this stuff on their packaging and on their products without any oversight whatsoever. So we as consumers need to be aware of that and not just trust what it says in the packaging, but ask why. Why is this zero waste? What makes it zero waste? Does it make sense? Today I want to focus on packaging specifically because it's something we can see, it's something we can touch, it's something concrete that we can evaluate, and there's lots of data talking about different types of packaging and how they affect the environment. And from that we can go to, is this type of packaging, meaning it's the outer carton that a product comes in or the actual tube that the product comes in, is that actually eco-friendly? Are we helping the environment by switching over to these kinds of packaging? Probably the most deceptive of all these different types of packaging is PCR, post-consumer recycled plastic. It is everywhere. Made from 30% PCR. Buy our product, it's more eco-friendly. But there's a lot of things that the average consumer doesn't tend to know about this kind of plastic. First, the PET, which is the traditional kind of plastic we see everywhere, like water bottles and things like that, that is very, very cheap to make. But of course, it's killing our planet. So this post-consumer recycled plastic is an option, but here are the drawbacks. First, it's very expensive for the manufacturer compared to the traditional PET. And I actually learned this with John when we went down to Cosmoprof back, years ago, pre-pandemic, when I was thinking about launching a skincare line. And we were shocked when we talked to the people about their sustainable packaging options and saw how expensive they were, sometimes twice as expensive as traditional packaging. And the big thing we learned at Cosmoprof was that this PCR plastic can't be recycled again. Once you do PCR plastic, you have to throw it away. That's the end. It's just one time. That's it. It's just one time. So who's probably paying for this PCR upgrade? Most likely us, the consumers. I think this kind of plastic is becoming very popular because I honestly don't think a lot of people realize that you can't recycle it once it's been made into this PCR plastic. And yeah, of course it's good to recycle plastic and reuse it, even if it's just that one time, because you're not creating plastic for that product. So in that one time, in that one cycle, yeah, you're probably doing something nice for the environment, but at the same time, melting down that plastic uses energy and all of that, and you're really just kicking the ball down the field. Now, some brands with plastic are doing something a little bit different in that they're just using less of the plastic. Do you remember in What's for Makeup a few weeks ago, we talked about Innisfree and their I'm Paper bottle scandal, where they had a big thick paper wrapping around a thinner plastic bottle on the inside, and we all kind of collectively agreed that they should have just sold the thin plastic bottle, but they greenwashed it by putting this paper packaging on the outside, essentially maybe tricking possibly people into thinking the whole bottle was made out of paper. So in the end, they ended up creating this paper that had to be processed using energy to wrap around a bottle that had to be processed using energy. And it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? But I do think that it's a good thing to use less plastic, but hopefully through this video, we can come up with some other solutions. Let's talk a little bit about aluminum. We've been seeing more aluminum starting in cosmetics, especially in the body care space. We talked a few weeks ago about Hey Humans, the new brand by Jada Pinkett Smith, how all of their products are made out of aluminum to help specifically with the environmental impact. One thing that's good about aluminum is it is way more likely to be recycled than plastic. According to the United States EPA, aluminum has an average of a 68% recycle rate compared to only 3% for plastic. That data point just blew me away, just poof. And one good thing about aluminum is it can be infinitely recycled. Unlike the plastic where we talked about, it definitely has a time where you just can't recycle it anymore. But also like plastic, it does use energy to create. There's a smelting process where they have to melt down the aluminum and reshape it into the shapes that we need in order to put the product in. So that, of course, uses more energy. Apparently, forming an aluminum can puts twice as much carbon dioxide into the environment as a plastic bottle. But the question with that one is does the lack of waste kind of counteract that carbon dioxide from the production? So because we're creating less stuff and we're just reusing it, the fact that we're going to have less waste in the landfills, is that going to balance us out environmentally? And that I'm not 100% sure on. If you have information about that or links, I would love to read more about that. But I personally lean more toward aluminum rather than plastic, but kind of the jury's still out in my mind as far as the full environmental impact of plastic versus aluminum, but I'm tending to lean toward aluminum. This is something I didn't know until I was researching for this video. Cardboard can only be recycled between 5 and 7 times. But the good thing about cardboard is, unlike other forms of recycling, 96% of Americans, I'm not sure about around the world, but 96% of Americans have access to cardboard recycling from their homes. With cardboard packaging in cosmetic products, of course, it's trickier for paper products and liquids being poured into paper products, but we do have ways of doing that. I mean, we have milk cartons that are made out of paper. It's not necessarily cardboard, but paper. There are ways to package liquid products in paper products, but mostly we're seeing cardboard right now in beauty products for like eyeshadow palettes and, the outside, packaging for different products and things like that. The most important thing we need to keep in mind as cosmetic consumers when it comes to cardboard packaging is, especially if we have like an eyeshadow palette, we need to make sure that that is clean before we put it in the recycling. We need to take all the metal pans out. We need to make sure that it's not stained, or else it just won't be recycled. And then we get into wish cycling, and that is a whole nother issue in itself. So it seems like cardboard and paper are a pretty good option as far as cosmetic packaging goes. But again, we're just kicking the can again, or kicking the ball, whatever analogy you want to say. It's eventually it's gonna have to stop. But as many products as we can use in these things that can be recycled, it is better. But again, we're still creating waste. Like I was saying before, I was thinking a while back that I was going to start a skincare company, and glass packaging was the most attractive to me. I was like, yes, glass packaging, it's the most sustainable, it's the most... Not really, but there are some pros to glass. So first, it can be recycled an infinite number of times, which is fabulous. Glass is made from natural raw materials, which is good, but then we are taking things like sand out of the environment, which could create its own completely different set of problems. And just like aluminum, the creation of a bottle takes a lot of energy between melting it down and reshaping it and all of that. And then when you think about transport, a glass bottle is typically much heavier than, let's say, a plastic bottle or an aluminum product or even a paper product. Glass is going to be the heaviest, which could cause the truck to need more gas and all of that. So that's a factor, even though I did read that glass bottles typically use a lot less glass than they once did. It's significantly less. Like aluminum, glass is a great option because you can recycle it over and over and over and over again without compromising the quality of what you're creating. But at the same time, like everything else, there's significant drawbacks to all of these packagings. So what do we do as cosmetic consumers? What do we do if none of these packagings are perfect, if they all contribute to environmental damage? What do we do? How do we choose what to do? Well, the first thing we can do is we can just buy less stuff. If we buy less stuff, then manufacturers are going to make less stuff and we'll just have less waste. And I think we all know that in our heads, but then we see that new product and that cute thing, and I'm guilty of this myself. I mean, I'm a makeup cosmetic reviewer. And the fact is, eco-conscious packaging is a step in the right direction. We are doing better than just creating new plastic, but we do have a long way to go. And personally, my thought is I really wish we had a better system of refilling existing packaging. TerraCycle is working on a really cool program called Loop. And again, we had talked about this in What's Up in Makeup a couple of months ago, where it's kind of like a milkman style program where you buy from their vendors and then you get this tote, you fill up your tote with your empty bottles, and then they come and they pick it up and then they give it back to the vendors who then clean it, sanitize it, and refill it. I personally feel like we need more of those kinds of programs. And one thing I was thinking of, and see if you think this is a good idea, is if there was a way to have a standard packaging for all shampoo bottles, let's say, all conditioner bottles, all face cream bottles, everything was in a standard packaging. So if you were part of the standard packaging program, you could just order the cleaned out versions of these standardized packaging. So you wouldn't have to create new, but every brand it would all be uniform. So the bottle would be the same, but the labeling, the branding, all of that would be unique to each brand, and they could brand it however they wanted. And it would just be a way to reuse packaging without having it to be brand specific. Unfortunately, right now in 2021, there just aren't a lot of options for reuse of packaging. There are some brands, of course, like BULLSH. I heard Kiehl's is doing refill systems. The Body Shop is doing a refill system, but we really need to, as a world, get more on board of this lower waste thinking, lower waste purchasing, so that we can pass a planet on to our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. At this point, my friend, this I think is going to be the most interesting part, is I want to hear from you. I am not an environmental expert. I am very interested in it, but I am not an expert, and I know some of you all know so much about this topic. I would love to learn from you down in the comments down below. Is there anything that I missed the mark on? Is there anything that you want to add to the things that I said? Any new information, any research articles that I should read? I'll put all of my research articles down in the description down below so you can read those, and we can just all work together in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, where we help each other not to buy crap and just learn things on how to make our planet and our lives a better place. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this video interesting and helpful. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. It does help me out a lot. If you've never seen a video from me, hi, I'm Jen. It's so nice to meet you. If you want to hit the subscribe button to see more of my content, feel free. And if you'd like to hang out a little bit longer, YouTube should be recommending a video for you right over here to watch. But if it is your time to go, it is no problem at all. Thank you so much for hanging out as long as you did. And mad love to you. I'll see you in a video very soon. Bye!